Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you how to make tomato basil soup from scratch using homegrown organic tomatoes. Or you can get it from the store if you like. But as you see, I have a plethora that I grew this year. The wonderful thing about this recipe is you can use tomatoes that have damage, such as marks, mold spots, bug holes, anything. Just cut them off and cut out the center stem, and any other damage or unsavory looking parts, just get rid of them and you'll be good to go with the good part of the tomato. Since you're making it into soup, it'll be cooking down and killing any germs, and it doesn't really matter what it looks like. So you can use a steak knife like I'm using here, or a paring knife, which is just as easy. Sometimes I find the serration actually helps. I'm using a mix here of beefsteak tomatoes and plum, also known as Roma tomatoes. I've used all types of tomatoes in the past, such as cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes, but as long as they're mostly red, some of the orange ones are even just fine for this recipe. And if you're interested, check out some other links below and check out how to grow your own tomatoes in your own garden and greenhouse. While prepping, you can get ahead by setting your oven to 400 degrees. Set up your baking sheets with tinfoil and a generous amount of olive oil. Then place the tomatoes in a single layer on the baking trays. Once the oven reaches temperature, go ahead and slide them in. And set the timer for 40 minutes. Your time may vary depending on your oven's capabilities. After about 40 minutes, you'll notice your trays will be full of water, since tomatoes are mostly water. So be very careful removing them. As you see, I did spill it and made a mess. So try to avoid that. Sometimes using a spoon to get or a turkey baster to remove the juice actually helps before you touch the tray. Be sure to let them cool down to a manageable temperature until you try to touch them, because they will burn you. But putting them in sometimes a flash cooling them in an ice bath really helps them to shock and send the skins right off of the tomato flesh. You can use whatever method works best for you. As you see here, I'm just manually pulling off the skins since they cooled down, and then throwing the good stuff into the bowl, which includes the juice, the flesh, everything. The juice will cook down and concentrate and make great soup, so you don't want to waste any of that. And I don't mind the seeds, so I leave the seeds in. But most people do not like the skin, so they are removed. But you really, in actuality, could just put them in the food processor and blend them down. Now press the skins to get all the remaining juice that is on them. An alternative method to skin tomatoes is flash boiling. Some say you may lose some flavor, but it is faster, I think. So you get the water to a boil and drop your tomatoes in safely, not like I did. And I chose to cut the stems off because I think it's faster, but you can leave them on if you like. Cover the lid and let them boil for about 2 to 3 minutes. And once they get up to a boil for 2 to 3 minutes, then you can pull them out, drain the hot water, and put them in an ice bath in a colander or in a bucket in your sink, or whatever, however you choose to do so. But the rapid temperature change causes the skin to remove from the flesh a lot faster and easier, and it saves your fingers from pain. It almost peels itself at that point. I took the easy route and just used cold water from the faucet, but ice water does work a lot better, trust me. Now you can go ahead and dice up a sweet Vidalia onion or whatever you have on hand. I like them minced pretty small. It will be cooked down. But put some oil in your pot and add the onion and let them sweat out. You can saute them, a little pinch of salt, and give it a nice caramelized color, and it gives a great sweet flavor. And now, because your pot has cooled down, turn it up to high to bring all the ingredients to a boil. After it boils for a few minutes, then you may choose to remove the peppers. You do not have to, but some people choose to. Some people like to leave it in. So if you like the strong pepper flavors, then go ahead and leave it in there. I'm using an immersion blender here to smooth everything out. If you don't have one, you can use a standard tabletop blender, but it might be a little messier, or even a food processor. Then I'm adding fresh ground black pepper, kosher salt, fresh homegrown basil, and some parsley sprigs. I like to do everything to taste and what I think looks right. You can add more if you like, or less if you're not a fan of these fresh herbs. I like mine very robust, so I added a lot more to mine. And the year I filmed this, I did not have any homegrown oregano, so I used some dried. This year, I do have homegrown, and I will be using that instead. I feel like the fresh oils give it a better flavor than the dried. After that cooks for a couple minutes, you can come back and use the immersion blender and blend it all in again. If you're using a regular blender, just do it all at once to make it easy. Now, depending on how watery it is, or how thick it is at this point, you can either simmer it longer on low, or you can take it off depending on how done it is. Once it gets to your desired thickness, go ahead and enjoy your soup. Although this is a vegan vegetarian recipe, some like to add milk or even light or heavy cream to it to thicken it up. I like to just enjoy the tomatoes as they are delicious in this soup. But if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Living the Good Life Now and Culinary Creations. See more awesome videos coming your way soon.